Hi, Melanie, all the way from the Gold Coast. Thank you so much for joining us today to talk about your brand new book, Vibe Up Your Life, Rise, Shine, and Create Your Dreams into Reality. I am so
Thank you.
excited to talk with you about this.
Thank you so much, Tara. And don't we all need to vibe up our lives right now?
Oh,
What
this
a
is the
crazy world
solution.
we're living in. Oh my gosh.
It's so funny.
Mm.
All the great tools you have in here that have been, compiled over decades are so applicable right now. This is the
I
perfect
know.
time for this book.
No, I just love how the universe works. I've been writing, that book has been in the making for about nearly 4 years. And I was able to complete it when we had to go into Corona lockdown. So was able to finish it, get it published, and it's now out there. I'm so proud of it. The timing is perfect because with this pandemic, global pandemic, there's so much depression, heaviness, anxiety, stress, fear. I could continue on. So much mental stress, mental health challenges for people right now. We need this information. We all need this information. The information in this book can really help all of us to change our environments, to start to create what it is that we're really desiring and choosing and want to have for our future, because our life will never be the same again. The world will never be like we used to know it. But it doesn't mean we can't still create an incredible life, choosing what we want, empowering ourselves to create the life we really want. And how to do it is all in the pages of that book. So it's got tools, there's techniques in there, strategies. I'm using my own life stories as the examples because I love stories and it makes it really easy for people to understand. And then to be able to show them, well, this is the tool or the technique or the strategy that I used to create that reality for me.
And I love how
I'm so
vibrant
proud.
it is too. It's
I
so
know.
colorful. You even did
I'm
like
the colour
the,
girl.
I
Yeah.
love it. Now each of these colors coincide with one of the chakras.
They do. And look, I didn't actually intentionally do that initially when I was creating the book. I knew I wanted to have colour. And I was meditating one morning and it literally just came to me that there's 7 chapters, and all of a sudden it just came to me, each chapter, chapter 1 really starts around the base chakra and it works its way up to the crown chakra. So it made sense that I had to have the spot, the edge of each page of each chapter had to be in those colours. So, and it just adds a little bit more vibrancy, which is really fun. And so, we've all got, we all have to create change. This is an opportunity for all of us right now, whilst this pandemic's on, whilst so much of us are in, we're all being restricted in our movements. Travel's gone for the majority of us. Here in Australia now, most of our borders have been shut again, so a lot less movement. We can't get to the places we want to go. We can't be with our loved ones. So it's an opportunity for us all to use this time to really start to think what it is that we really want. What do we really want for our lives, personally, in our fitness, in moving forward with our careers? There's such a big opportunity for us right now. It doesn't have to all be gloom, and chaos and trauma. Yes, there's a tremendous amount of sadness, and I empathise for everybody who's going through loss. But use this time to really think about what it is that you do want, because you can have it. Maybe not exactly right now whilst we're in these conditions, but we've got to sow the seeds, and this is the perfect time to sow seeds. And how to do that is all in this book.
Absolutely. That's such a powerful message. And, we are making a choice and we are creating our life, whether we realize it or not. And, through just reading even the first few chapters, you really drive home that point of, you gave yourself cancer with your thinking. You gave yourself a year in bed to recover from a car accident with your thinking. Like, our thoughts are so powerful. So if you're not applying what you're talking about, then you're probably applying something else, and you can look around in your life and see exactly what needs to be improved. And I think, like you mentioned, more than ever, people are taking that time to pause and really think about, is this the job that I want to do? Is this the relationship I want to be in? I mean, you can't just sort of go through the motions anymore, because you're really faced with all of it. And what is showing up in your life for you is what we've created with our minds, right? You really drive that point home. I love that.
It is. It's very much a book of the universal law of attraction. What we focus on, we attract. So if we focus on negative, we're going to get more negative.
Yes.
If we focus on positive, we're going to start to create positive in our lives, regardless of what's going on in the environment around us. So they're the kind of examples, they're the stories that I've put in the book to really let people know, yes, I did give myself cancer in my 20s because of where my mindset was at that time, but I didn't know then what I know now. So I want other people to learn these tools, these lessons now, so they don't have to go through everything that I've gone through. I'm giving you all the answers, the tools, the techniques, the strategies, so that you can create what it is that you do want moving forward. It covers every aspect of our lives. Our environments, how important they are in creating what we want. Our body is our environment, what we're putting into our body, physically, emotionally, the fitness, where we live, the people we surround ourselves with,
Yes.
in so many different environments that we've got to consider. Are the people that we're surrounding ourselves with, are they helping us to move to what we want, or are they keeping us stuck and moving into the past? You can't move forward looking in the rearview mirror all the time. You can look back and have a look at the past, but you've got to stop living in the past. We've got to start to move forward and create what we want moving forward. If you want to, you don't have to, but I think most of our readers will be looking for and desiring to make some changes, because we've got that time. Like you said, we're all in pause right now. Use this time wisely, make some changes. Everything you need is in the book to help you to do that. And not just in the book, I also created, I'll just show you, is that all right?
Let's see it, show them. I was going to ask. There it is.
There it is.
The
So
companion.
It's a companion guide. So it's a workbook. So as I mentioned before, each chapter, at the end of each chapter, there is an exercise to do. So I thought, well, why not create something that's beautiful to go with it, that they can put all of that information together in one beautiful place. So the companion guide is the same. It's colour all the way throughout, but it has the space to do the work. So every exercise that's in the book, I'm guiding you how to do it in the companion guide. And at the end of the guide, I've also created part 2, tools and techniques, so that they're all together at the back in one place. So for a really quick, easy reference, you can go, oh, what was that tool Mel was talking about? You know exactly where to go to find it. It's all in the back here. So I'm really proud of this little book. I love it. And just look, it's just lovely. Look at all the colour. It's just beautiful.
So
Pictures,
beautiful.
photos. Yeah, so excuse me, it's come up beautifully. I'm very, very proud of the two of them. And like I said before, the timing is perfect for the release of these books. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, and I think buying these books, both the book and the companion guide, and applying them has really shifted my perspective. I can see now where I can connect the dots, where that divine timing, which you talk about in the 3rd chapter, is so important, where this happens, so this could happen, so this could happen, and this happened because, and you really get a sense of how powerful our thoughts and our words and our actions or our inactions are. So I highly recommend everyone buy the book and the companion guide on your website, Vastity, and on Amazon.com.au. Sorry, and Amazon.com. You can get the book on Amazon. But the companion guide is only available on the website, right?
At this stage, yes. It's brand new.
We only have a limited printing of those, because that is just an extra bonus. So make sure to get the companion guide, because it does go along with the book so powerfully well. And I'm just gonna say, why don't we show them? Why don't we give a little sample? I don't know. What do you think? Just so people can use this technique, and just show them how fast this is. Because having a vision and a dream is great, but unless you take the action and feel that vibration and raise your vibration up, like you say in the book, and vibe up your life, then you're just going to dream about it. You're not going to actually change any of the patterns or beliefs or thinking that's keeping you in that cycle. So what do you got for us, Mel? Let's do one.
So I'm going to do one. I'm going to read it just so that your readers or viewers can listen to how easily I've written this to help them as well. So the one that I really love, that's really quick and simple, literally takes a few seconds, is called Inner Circle.
Okay.
So the inner circle technique is a super quick visualization technique you can use when life feels like it's caving in on you, becoming heavy and dark, when you're surrounded by negativity, trauma, drama, chaos, or feeling overburdened, smothered, or trapped.
Mm.
So you just close your eyes, gather all that heaviness, whatever that is for you. Have all that heaviness encircle you so that you're safe in the middle of it, like you're standing in the middle of a large, black, dark truck tire. Now, in your mind's eye, I want you to push it all out away from you. Keep pushing it further and further away from you. So you're creating more space, and all the heaviness is being pushed further and further away from you. Keep pushing until it totally disappears out of sight. This enables you to breathe and to freeze your load. That's it.
Oh my gosh,
So
I feel
really,
better already.
really simple little technique just to help just pushing all of that negativity out, whatever that is for you. Just keep pushing, so that you can then, that feels better. I can move, I can breathe, I can feel like more like myself again, and it helps to raise your vibration. So everything that we're doing, we want to keep focusing on raising the vibration, because that's where change happens, when we're focusing positively, raising our vibration. Down here in the negativity, the chaos, the trauma, the depression, the sadness, you're going to get stuck down there. So we need to raise up to move forward.
You know, that's something that I think maybe we should talk about too, because I was not aware that I was stuck. I was not aware that I was on a low vibration. So what are some of the signs? Because I know you have a clinic and you practice on the Gold Coast with your intuitive energy healing and do some amazing stuff for people in person and also on Zoom, on top of being, you know, an author and a healer. So what are some of the things that you see people demonstrating or displaying that maybe are unaware of their sort of stuckness? You know, how can someone gauge where they're at on the vibrational scale? I know you have that scale in your book too, where you can see where you're at.
That's the
Here,
beginning.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you can kind of gauge where you're at. And I looked at this a map of consciousness levels. Now, I personally thought, oh yeah, I'm in love, but really, I probably was a little closer to this part here, down here by needing the courage. You know, so how do you kind of measure that, and how do you identify where people are starting? So, you know, one of the comments is always, well, you can't get to a destination unless you have your starting point, right? And that was for me the really powerful point. So how do you know how to position yourself in that chart and in that starting place to really see where you're at and see that you do need these tools and your help to raise that vibration, and why it's so important?
Well, it's all about awareness. You know, so many people, like, they don't have the awareness that they have the power themselves to make change. So a lot of people just live their lives based on what they've been taught, what they've been conditioned, what they believe from other people. Quite often it's our carers, you know, the people that brought us up. You know, we're conditioned right from in the womb. We're conditioned with what our parents think. And then as we grow up, we take on other people's beliefs and behaviours. And then we start to think that they're ours. So what I do in a clinic setting is to really start to break those layers down for people and say, well, hang on a second, do you really believe that? Is that true for you? You know, or is that your parents or your grandparents, or is that your fathers, or is it your mothers, or is it your partners? Most people don't believe that they have the power themselves to create change. You know, that they look at everybody else, that they kind of are stuck in victim. I see a lot of people in the clinic, they come in, they're not even aware that they're actually locked in victim, but the reality is they are. So once I bring that to their awareness, that they then can see how they can start to change that. But being open to receive change, being open to the awareness to start with, and then being prepared to choose to want to change is when it can start to change. So even all of that information is in the book. It's in the first couple of chapters, because like you said, we all have to start somewhere, you know, and we're never too old to start. It doesn't matter how old we are. And it doesn't matter what we've been through in the past. We can change it if we choose to. We've got to want to. A lot of people don't want to. You know, they're much happier living their lives being, as I call, like a sheep, following the herd. And not that I want to judge that. That's fine. If you want to be a sheep and follow the herd, by all means be a sheep. But I personally would rather be the leader in my own life and have the choices and freedom to choose what I want.
Yes.
Moving forward, and even with this coronavirus where there are government restrictions in place, well, that's fine. I can still live my life according to those rules right now, but that doesn't have to change the way I think. I can still be positive in that and just be and have so much gratitude and love for what I do have in this limiting times. I still can see the sky. So that's in the book as well, learning in times when we're not feeling great, if we can shift that energy, that vibration, because that again is low level vibration. If we can tap into love and gratitude for what we have right now, that will shift our energy straight away and our vibration will increase straight away. Gratitude to have eyes to see, because a lot of people don't. Have ears to hear, because a lot of people don't.
Food, clean water.
Food, water,
Shoes.
a lot of people don't. I'm very grateful. I've got a roof over my head. I have a car that I can get out and drive. A lot of people right now they may have a car, but they can't get out and drive in it because they're in lockdown for whatever reason. But even if you're in lockdown, you can still be grateful that you have a space to be in lockdown. You're not sitting or living under a tree. There's so much to be grateful for. Clothes on our backs, friends, family. All of this can help to raise our vibration, and every little bit helps, and I think that we all have a part to play right now. We all have to take initiative, and we have to do our part in helping to create change and raising the vibration of the planet right now. That's what's going to heal her. That's what's going to heal her. Every single one of us have to do our part. And if your part is just by literally on a daily basis coming up with 10 things that you're grateful for right now, that's a huge part towards it, and I thank you for that. But that's just one little thing. There's so many things that are in the book that we can start to create change and to raise that vibration. And as you were saying before, you're in the book. I talk about little things like dancing, moving your body, getting those endorphins, happening, the happy hormones, as I call them.
Yeah.
We can all dance in a room by ourselves. Put our favourite music on. That's going to raise our vibration. We don't have to do massive, great big things to raise our vibration. We just got to choose to do something.
Absolutely.
Freedom, it's choice. I think life is choice. So you have to choose what it is that you want and desire for your life and do it.
And if you're not actively choosing it, you're choosing what's showing up in your life.
Exactly.
Very powerful message is, if you don't want to read this book for whatever crazy reason, you absolutely need to. You absolutely definitely need to, because you are the one that really needs to raise your vibration. But I think everybody, you talk about when you manifested living and working in Fiji and running the Tony Robbins Resort in Fiji, in the 90s, and doing a lot of personal development, and I've done that as well, and but not on that level, like you have, and you share the story about all these these things that sort of happen, but we can manifest things, but without that vibrational change and without that real focus and that system and strategy, you're not going to maintain whatever it is that shows up in your life. And I love that story. Tell us a little bit about what it was like to live and work in Fiji.
Well, that was a dream come true. And I mean, again, back then I didn't have all the tools and techniques that I know today. I was on the Tony Robbins path. For those of you who haven't heard of Anthony Robbins, he's a very well-known American. He's more than just a motivational speaker. I mean, he's a life transformational coach is probably more what I'd call him.
Yeah.
And I worked around him for over 20 years, an amazing man, and what incredible work he does in helping transform lives and raise the vibration of the planet big time. And I just always, the first time I went to Fiji for a holiday, I just fell in love with Fiji and decided then and there I wanted to live and work and run a resort in Fiji. Never done any of that before. Didn't know how to do it, but all I did was I literally took a whole load of photos, came back, stuck them on my wall, put a picture of me and my husband at the time in the middle, and just every day would look at these pictures and go, we are so going to do that one day. And, a few years later, I then we do a seminar with Tony Robbins. First time he came to Australia, we were in the audience, totally captivated within 10 minutes of him being on stage. What an incredible man he is.
Yeah.
And then the next time, I don't think he mentioned it the first time, but second time he came to Australia, we decided, let's do this again. And that was the first time he'd mentioned that he does this a 7-day retreat in Fiji. And so I just knew we had to go, not realising we were going back. Didn't even know he had a resort in Fiji at the time, mind you. And went back to the same island, Savu Savu, that was where I had gone originally and fell in love and took all the photos. And his resort was just up the road, hidden. Didn't even see it there. And long story short, he found out down the track that that was a dream of mine and offered us to go and become the assistant managers for Namala.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
Amazing.
But, that all came out of me making a decision that I'd love to live in Fiji and run a resort. Had I ever done any of that before? No. Did I know anything about Fiji? Did I speak the language? Did I understand the customs? No. Had I ever run a resort before? No. I was in the printing industry, nothing to do with hospitality. Didn't matter. I just focused on that is what I want to do. And this is how I love how this universe, the law of attraction works. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to figure out how. Let universe handle the details. You just have to decide what it is you want and don't allow your vibration to lower from that outcome. You have to stay focused, positive, don't let any doubt in. And I promise you, because I've got so many stories like that one in the book, that was just one of many stories.
You prove it.
I prove it. They're real stories.
Yeah.
And the book is such an inspiration, is what people keep telling me. Oh my God, it's such an inspiration. I had trouble putting it down, learned so much, loved it. So if you, and that's why I love this. It's simple. It doesn't have to be hard. Like me, I'm just an ordinary person, but I got to run a 5-star, mind you, not just a 1-star. It was a 5-star at the time resort in Fiji for Tony Robbins. Like, hello.
Fantastic.
Loved it. Fantastic experience.
And it's so fast. It's so fast how you can do that when you focus. Yeah. And I think you really touched on it. What the biggest problem is people don't know what they want.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't know.
Well, I don't think they can have it, so they don't even bother going there.
Yes.
That's
so they don't even pick up the practices of, maybe I should meditate or work out. They just say, oh, I'm just genetically fat. I don't need to work out or eat right because I've tried everything. It doesn't work. I'm sorry, you haven't tried everything if you're not the way that you want to be, right? It's so funny how people just tell themselves these stories and just give up.
Yeah. Well, they don't even start. So, and look, again, choice. If you're happy with the life the way it is, then you don't need my book. Yeah. But if you do want to make changes and you want it to be easy, I am all about simplicity. I'm about ease of living. This book is for you because it's an easy read, I promise you. That's why I put loads of colour in it, nice, big, easy to read font, just to make it easy for everybody to make change. Everything you need is in that. 280 pages, that's all it is. 280 pages.
It makes you happy just to look at it.
You can change your whole life.
Are you ready for change? It's simple when you know how. So simple.
And it's in there. How is in there?
And the how is in here. So vibe up your life now. Now is the time.
Now.
Get the book. Get the companion guide.
We have the time right now. We have the time. We're all at home.
Vivacity.com.au. That's VIVACITI.com.au. Or you can find her on Amazon, especially if you're in America. And it's an incredible book. I'm so glad that you wrote this. I know it is helping a lot of people right now, and I look forward to just seeing what happens next. I know you have a lot of cool stuff that's coming up, like the video series and really just fascinating ways to apply these things in your life right away and just take that action and vibe up your life and raise the collective vibration of the planet, So thank you.
Thanks for having me on. It's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed every minute. And let's go out there and vibe up.
Yeah, get the book. Vibe up your life, everybody. Now's the time. Thank you, Mel.
Thanks. Bye, everybody. See you.
Bye.